Alright guys, we finally have our first issue with our Cayenne. Let me show you what I mean. Why do we have a check engine light? And we have a four-wheel drive system fault, which is, I know that's a weak battery thing, so that's not really the main issue I'm concerned about. The issue is that check engine light. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it's kind of like stuttering. It's just stuttering when I drive, so we're gonna dive into this and scan the codes first. I'm thinking it's spark plugs, so hopefully that is the issue, but we're gonna scan these codes first and see what kind of errors we're coming up with. Well, I just went out and grabbed a scanner. Let's get this under there. In there. All right, let's see what kind of codes we are pulling up here. P0304. I believe that is a misfire code, so let's Google this and see what kind of info we come up with. Alright, so after doing my Googles, 06 Cayenne code P0304, cylinder 4 misfire detected, which is what I figured. Not the exact cylinder, but it definitely felt and sounded like a misfire. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this now. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the engine bay of your 06 Cayenne, cylinders 1 through 4 would be on this side, and then cylinders 5 through 8. Oh no, 1 to 3 would, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so cylinder 1 through 4 would be here, and then 5 through 8 would be here, question mark, maybe? You get the idea. So since I'm really going to be changing all of the spark plugs, I don't really care which bank is what, but that's bank 1, that's bank 2. So 1 through 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. To do this, you're going to need an E12 socket, your Torx bits, your spark plug remover tool, and then two 16 millimeter sockets to loosen up this on one side, and pretty much you're going to loosen this whole thing. That way you can take the cover off and then do what you got to do. Before you can start anything, you're going to want to remove this plastic cover here and then this plastic cover along the top, and then same thing for here. You don't need to remove this, but it'll give you a little bit more room to work with. So with your plastics removed, you have a ton more space, right? And then from there, you're going to want to remove 1, 2, 3. These are T40s, and then same with this side, those 3 screws as well. Now each of these are the air pumps, so each of these will have a hose connected, which is right down there, and then they'll have an electric port, which is right down here. So when you remove the 3 screws, you're also going to be careful and remove the hose and the electric ports. So to make it a little easier, I just remove the hose and then put wrap the electric port or the electrical connector around this bracket here. That way it gives me access to get these screws off right here, and then I should be good. You're gonna want to take this top cover off right here. Why is it zoomed in? You're gonna want to take this top cover off. It says Porsche, and for that you're gonna need a T30, which is right here. So we got our T30, fits in there nice and snug. So we can go ahead and take those out. So here's a little issue that I ran into. This air box is in the way of me being able to get a regular 3/8 in there along with my T30. So if you have these kind of bits laying around and you happen to have a T30, you can just stick the bit in there and then with your pliers grab onto the back of it and then rotate it like that. When you do that, you can put your T30 bit, you can put your T30 back in there, and then you should be able to twist it out just like this. And then you can do the remaining by hand that way. If you don't want to remove the air box, you can do it this way. If you want to remove the air box, you can use the ratchet. Now with all 4 screws have been removed, I can now lift up this part, and then it would reveal our spark plugs. And you have 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7, and 8. So all 4 spark plugs on the driver's side are easily accessible now, and we can go ahead and change those out. So because this car is an older car, these clips may be a little bit brittle, so you are going to want to take your time and just gently push down and then lift up. Don't like force it, but you know, use some what's the word? Use some discretion, if that's the word. From there, you can go ahead and take, oh geez, what is this? I believe that's an E12. You can take your E12 and get these little things out, those little sockets. I don't even know if you can see it right there at the bottom. You can get that one out, and then you can go ahead and remove your spark plug. Alright, so I ended up taking out one plug. As you can see, it is pretty much cooked McGee, and there is some oil on there, so we are going to have to be doing the valve cover gasket soon. I don't even know if I want to do that myself. I probably will, but we have one plug out. It's a 16 mil plug, 5/8 16 mil. Just make sure it has the socket thing. For some reason, this is brand new. I got it from Walmart, did not work. So this will be getting returned because for some reason, it's literally the same exact size, 5/8 16 mil, and it just did not want to take out the plug. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of these, and I'm gonna have to do that another time because I don't have a 16 mil. I have no idea where any of my 16 mils are. I was literally able to find everything around 16. We got a 17, we got another 17 here. Where else? I found a smaller 17. Pretty much I don't have a 16 mil. So we're gonna just do this side today, and then sometime this week we're gonna come back and do that side. I just realized cylinder 4 is on that side, so I'm gonna have to do that side. I'm gonna have to figure something out to do that side today. Alright, so when you're installing your spark plugs, you're gonna take your spark plug and your socket, you're gonna put the spark plug inside the socket. But there's a rubber boot in there that prevents the spark plug from falling out, and from there, you can pretty much just go ahead and feed it into the port you are changing, but do not use any tools unless you have it all the way in. Then you can go ahead, use your wrench or your, you can use your tool and then tighten it down. Right now I have it hand tight, and we can go ahead, take our tool and secure that down. I don't like to use, me personally, I don't like to torque things all the way because I've had several times bad luck with torque. If it feels tight enough to where it can't move, it's good. Okay, so my camera ended up dying, but I was able to use the spark plug socket, which is a 16, and a T55 to get this bolt loose. So here's the bolt. We can put that to the side, and then you can also use the spark plug socket to loosen that bolt right there, which is also a 16. So that's great news. I don't need to wait to do this. So next things up, we need to remove this socket here and this socket here. That way, when we we're able to remove the beauty cover on this side. I actually think we're able to remove this bolt first. That way we can just slide it out, and then to change the spark plugs, there's a bolt here, a bolt there, a bolt here, and a bolt here. That way we can lift the pack out of here and this is not in the way. All right, with all these bolts loose and these torque mount bolts still in place, we should be able to just lift it up and slide it right out like that. Hopefully. It seems like it's getting stuck on this bracket here, so we might have to, let's see if we can wiggle this out. Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're able to wiggle that out, and now we just have one bolt here, and one bolt here, and one bolt there. That way we can go ahead and get that out the way to get the spark plug out. These bolts are pretty tight, so you're gonna want to use an extension as well as a breaker bar, and then you should be able to break it loose. And then once you got all 4 of them loose, you can just go ahead and get that out. Well, that took a turn of events. My E12 is somewhere down there. Oh my God, this wind. My E12 socket fell down in the engine bay, so we're just gonna focus on cylinder 4 for now. And then whenever I go out and get another E12, we can come back and finish this. So the boot on cylinder 4 looks pretty good. Now we're just gonna pull the spark plug and see what that looks like. Well, this spark plug is absolutely cooked waters. It looks like it's all rusted and whatever. Yo, this is cooked waters. Well, let's get this changed out and then we'll be back to normal. All right, our spark plugs are done. We can go ahead, put this thing back together and then see what it is. Did it change anything? Is it still there? Obviously it's changed something. So let's get this back together and then see where we're at. All right. Now, I know I'm gonna have to drive around a bit, but no more hesitation. So I'm gonna go ahead, put the plastics back on, and then hopefully this check engine light goes away. I'm not gonna lie, every spark plug was like relatively cooked. This thing is just so smooth now. Like, it's so much smoother. That's wild. That's crazy. I thought it was smooth like when I first picked it up, but it's like 10 times better. Anyway, that's gonna be all for today's video. Me and the puppy gonna go to Lowe's, pick up some stuff, maybe take him to PetSmart, get him a little, want a treat? Grab him a little treat and then see what else happens. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.